Alright, hopefully everything's working now. Everything's sorted. No cam today because OBS just doesn't want to display it for some reason. Posted on the OBS forums. Eventually I'm sure somebody will respond. I tried a bunch of shit. So, voice in your head only. Alright, so I'm going to review 3 tournaments from yesterday and today. First one's the big one, the $100 no limit one, main event yesterday. I didn't mark any hands to be reviewed, so I'm just going to go through and look at all the big hands basically. So early on, this is hand like 10 in the tournament or so. Let's have a look at this one. Uh-oh. Well, you know work game. I guess my old process that I would use to hide and show shit doesn't work anymore with the new changes. Great. They changed how windows are detected. So this... window title must match. I think that's true. So otherwise find window of the same type. So maybe that'll work. Alright, so first hand, we have ace king off, beautiful hand, and the low jack, middle position. Goes raise, min raise here. This guy's really loose, he's raised 20% of his hand so far. I'm actually going to reset my second computer because it doesn't detect when my internet comes back half the time. So I have to log off of it so I can actually see that my stream is working and whatnot. Give me a moment. But yeah, so ace king off, it's raised by a loose raiser, and then re-raised by a tight aggressive player, but it seems pretty active. It's the third hand he's re-raised, or sorry, the third hand he's raised out of 12 hands. Basically, I got a vibe that he was pretty aggressive, so I played the hand a bit differently because of that. So, I mean, there's only one way to play this hand really, it's the re-raise again, but you could fold against really tight players, you could maybe cold call, I guess, in some spots, I don't know, not really my thing. So I cold 4-bet to 2000, folds around to the loose player who doesn't fold, and then the tight player doesn't fold either. So big pot already. It also should be noted that the blinds are 150, so we have gigantic stacks. So like 300 blinds or more, I think. So like 49,000, yeah, like 50,000 chip stacks divided by 150. So we got 330 bets deep, which is super deep stack play. Which probably changes the way you play as well, and I'm not that good at, I mean, I don't know super deep stack play so that well. So I don't know how it changes. I mean, I know how it changes things, but for a hand like ace king, I'm not sure if I should be playing a bit more passively pre-flop or something, not re-raising maybe. In any case, we get here and we flop nothing, and it's check to us, so doesn't seem like the best flop to continue with. I think checking here seems good, rather than betting against a likely better hand here. So I just check. Now we have ace king high gut shot, so looking better. Looks like the stream's working. 1 second. Yeah, OBS just made a huge change, like from version 18 to 19, so it's not a good day to be a streamer. Not that I'm a streamer, but for people that are streamers, it's probably not a good day right now. It's not a good day for me either. This version particularly is particularly bad compared to usual. Usually there's nothing really changes. I mean, it's all behind the scenes and just improvements, but here, like, they changed some fundamental things that broke some stuff. So it checks to us again. I mean, I could theoretically bet here, try and make a 10 or an 8 or something fold. We have a jack for the nuts as well. And they've shown a lot of weakness, so I think I should probably be betting here. I didn't bet though, I guess I was afraid that this guy wouldn't fold or something. I mean, he's gone to showdown a lot. Decent amount. This player too, actually, so maybe I was correct to check, but if I wasn't, maybe I was playing a bit scared, didn't want to bet. Because I've never played a $100 no-limit tournament before, I don't think. But it's such a good tournament, I had to play it. Way too much value there, way too many people that don't know what they're doing. It's probably one of the best tournaments of the year to play in online. At least low-stakes ones, $100 ones. And then at the end, I don't get anything, and it's bet and easy fold. So I would have liked to see a bet on turn there, but I understand why I didn't check in. Let's see. Not sure if this hand is going to be worth looking at. Seems like a small pot, we'll check. So we have queen 10 off on the button. The blinds have gone up a bit, so we still have... Oh, sure, turn up my phone. Forgot about that. We have a 230 bets deep. It's folded to my button, so easy raise. And the big blind defends. And he seems semi-tight and passive. He checks to me. This is an easy continuation bet. I bet he calls, and I guess I give up at this point. And he shows up with queen deuce. So yeah, it's a tiny pot, so I don't need to check 800 chip pots. So here's a big hand, 2 hands later. I have ace queen off in the hijack. It's folded to me, easy raise. I'm actually going to fix my layout here in Poker Tracker because some stuff is obstructed. Shouldn't be long. Actually need a better way to do this. Go like low. Alright, that's sorted. So, I raise in the hijack, the blind defense. I have ace queen off flop, top pair, top kicker, very nice. And I have 225 blinds, so pretty deep stacked. This guy is semi-loose aggressive. Haven't seen any check raises from him yet in one opportunity. I don't know, I guess you could probably check here, but I decided to bet. Either way, it's probably defensible. He calls. Check now, I have top 2 pair. Very nice turn. bet bigger. Seems good. And then, I mean, you kind of have to bet here. So I mean, I remember this hand as well. He check raises. So I'm getting 2.5 to 1. And I wasn't able to find a fold, but I mean, if I haven't played No Limit in like 3 years, so if I'd played more recently, perhaps I could find a fold here, but I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to fold the best hand because his check raise didn't really make a lot of sense. Because his most likely draw on the flop would be like 5-6, and I feel like this kind of player is more likely to either bet or check raise if he has that draw. And that's the draw that came in on the river, is the straight 5-6 straight. So I didn't think that made any sense. So, which meant I have the best two pair. And what can he have? Obviously, backdoor flush is possible, but that isn't that likely. So I ended up calling, and unfortunately, he did indeed hit the backdoor flush with king deuce. So he's calling the flop with nothing basically. He had a backdoor flush draw, king high, and like backdoor gut shot. But I mean, I was giving him really good odds on the flop. He was getting 5 to 1, so that's pretty good. Crap, finally got it to work. Yeah, basically. Oh, you? Me too, man. Been having issues. Not with Twitch though, with everything else. OBS and my connection. So yeah, I guess I could maybe bet bigger, but his call is still marginal. Yeah, I guess I probably should have bet a bit more. I don't know. I don't know that that the bet sizing was wrong. It's just really the mistake is the river call. I could also free card the flop. That was a big hand. And then, yeah, Twitch is having issues, right? So here we have ace queen suited on the button. It's raised by the same guy earlier on who seems like a tight aggressive player, but seems to steal a lot. At least that was my perception. So I could call here. Bets, blinds, I have 150 blinds. He covers me. So I think you can either call or re-raise is fine. I like to re-raise here. And he calls. I do want to find where my stat is showing how often they fold to the re-raise. Here it is. So this is the first time he's faced a 3-bet. And he calls it. He checks to the razor, and I flop top pair, good kicker. My inexperience shows, because I mean, I feel like I don't know if I should always be betting here or not. In any case, I took a free card. It makes the hand easier to play too. I don't really want to bet 3 times. If I get check raised, it's so awkward. I'd rather just check, and then if he decides to bet, I can call 2 streets and comfortably not worry about it. And if he checks here, I can easily bet. So he does bet, and I call, easy call. And then at the end, he bets again, half pot, again easy call. And he had 6-7 of clubs. So he had a gut shot on the flop. On the turn, and I gave him a free card, and then he gained an open-ended flush draw. Pretty amazing, and he bluffed. So probably pretty standard. What's up, Range Feral? Welcome. Like before, you could fix it by clicking my VODs. What the fuck? Making the screen small, then X that out, then click my name. Now I have to like refresh like 5 times before it works. Jesus Christ. What browser is that? What's up, Galarama? Lurker exposed. Debated. But yeah, that's a lot of work to get a stream to work. And that's what was happening yesterday too for you? With like Pooh Flower string. So yeah, so this hand's fine. Next big hand. It's probably not very big. But I'll check just to be sure. Queen 9 off in the small blind. Yeah, it was. Wow. Ruining my lurker status every time. Can't resist. Just call me Jabastard. So it's limped, and I limp in the small blind with queen 9 off. We check around. I hit bet when I hit pair of queens. Get called by one guy, and then check. So yeah, nothing to review here. Totally standard. He gained the nut flush on the turn, didn't bluff at the end. So here's a bigger pot. So ace king off. Cap of cotton. Doing it wrong. So raise from the hijack. Called on the button by the tight aggressive player. Pretty much easy re-raise here. Out of position, you don't really want to play 3 ways especially, so easy re-raise. There's no 2 ways about it. And I get called by one of them. And he's somewhat tight. Flop, a great hand, top pair, top kicker. Stack sizes, I mean, I started the hand with 112 big blinds. So you don't really want to stack off, but you have to bet. You can bet pretty small because it's a really dry flop. So I bet a quarter, he calls. Turn's pretty good, blank basically. So small bet again, and he folds. Phantom going strong. Poof our waiting room. So next hand, lost 3k in this one. I don't know if it's worth it. We'll check it. So I have pocket 8s in the big blind against a button raise from, again, the same guy. Pretty active. He's stolen 3 out of 6 chances, or 3 out of 5 chances, or attempted to steal. And the small blind calls, so I feel like this is an easy 3-bet. So I re-raise, and then he 4-bets, and this guy folds. So to a 4-bet, I feel like it's most likely a pretty easy fold, but we can plug it in to see what our equity is against his 4-betting range. Might as well, because I haven't done any of these yet. So what would he steal with that then 4-bets? This is the question. Ace queen off, it's possible. No lower than ace jack suited. Maybe king queen suited. Jacks, 10s, 9s, definitely not 8s and under. Also, make sure this is actually showing properly. It is not. Hand range selection. Window title, match, or same. There we go.
Just so I realized, Poof Hours channel open in one of your tabs, old habits and all, yeah.
Pretty much. There's several people that never leave. And I have one open myself on the second computer. Just opens it in the morning. Right. So what would he really 4-bet here? Typical player. It's like ace queen's a bit of a stretch. Ace jack suited also. Ace queen suited is fine. King queen suited, unlikely as well, unless you have some history with the player. So ace queen suited, ace king. Aces down to what? 9s? 9s is also unlikely. 10s unlikely. Jacks is possible. Queen's definitely possible. So this is, I mean, yeah, there's no way that, almost no way that I want to be getting my money in here. Or at least calling. I don't think. So I'm a little bit better than a 2-to-1 dog. I'm getting 2.5 to 1, but I'm playing out of position. I don't know, maybe I can call and play a flop, I guess. Or folding is fine, I'm sure. You don't really want to play out of position. And his range is really tight and dangerous. So I think folding is probably fine. 3-bet fold. Looks good to me. Kind of pointless this week though. Yeah, well actually you never know when she's going to randomly appear with like a real life stream, right? IRL stream. She might get it working, or like appear for 5 minutes while she's like trying to get it to work or something. So I'll still have it open. Unless you want that lit offline shot experience, yeah. Okay, so that's good. And then 2K. I guess I might as well. It's a big tournament, so I'll just review any hand where I bet at least once or whatever. So ace-jack suited, under the gun, raise, folds around to the button who calls, and we play heads up against him out of position. He's loose, semi-loose, passive, pretty loose. Missed the flop entirely, and he does fold a decent amount of time, so a small bet is probably fine, which is what I did, and he called, and now we're done with the hand basically. Check, check, check. I guess theoretically I could bet the river, but not a good enough player to make a big bluff against a player like this. Especially when I check the turn. Like, bet, if I had the flush I would bet, so he's not really going to be that scared of the flush. So bluffing on the river is not that credible. And he bets, and I fold. You'll keep it open. Don't want to miss that first mom appearance on Twitch. Yeah, no doubt. Who knows, maybe her mom will get a hold of her phone. Or she'll be there, yeah. So that hand's fine. Next hand. You never know when something's going to happen, basically. So here we have 8-7 suited in the big blind. We have 83 big blinds. It's raised by a very loose aggressive player in middle position. Easy call. Flop nothing. Goes check, check. So I feel like I have to take a stab at this. And I do, and he raises, so GG at the end of that hand. And not a whole lot happens for quite a while. Until this hand. So I have 38 big blinds now, so blinds are going up. This guy raises. In the video, I guess she made her first appearance yesterday, yeah. Hello! Her hello was epic. When I re-listened to it, too funny. I hadn't noticed it the first time. Funny as fuck, yeah. So, a player that I don't have a lot of information on raises. Did 2 and a bit times the blinds. He seems tight-ish. He's played 20% of his hands. This is the first time he raises in 15 hands. So I could probably call or re-raise. I've been electing to be more aggressive just because in general I think people are more aggressive these days anyway, so I should probably be re-raising spots like this. And he folds. You weren't watching that. You weren't watching, but yeah, that voice is off the wall. Yeah. The cigarette voice. Cigarette. Scared you a few times, like made you jump. Need to rewatch it. I guess like it was clipped. Yeah, it's in the clip channel. All 4 parts. Holly, like it's on, it's on, it's on. What? Oh, right, when she's telling her it's on. Thanks for the host, Haiku. What's up, guys? What were you playing? So it gets raised by a pretty tight raiser, but I mean at this point I have 22 big blinds. I can't just fold 8s, so I felt like I had to re-raise here, at least try. And unfortunately he 4-bets, and there's no way that I can call it off here, I don't think. But we can actually do the math and see, just to make sure. In the background, yeah, when it was on, it was hilarious, yeah. Actually, Robin's reaction was weird when she first started up talking on the call. It looked like she knew and was pretending that she didn't know initially, but I think she was probably just surprised and acting different than usual. Because it became pretty apparent that she didn't want to be live. So, close the other one. So what is this player raising and then 4-betting? It's going to be very similar to the other guy's range. We have 40 hands on the guy, and he's never 4-bet. Jacks is unlikely. Like, this kind of player doesn't really 4-bet jacks, I don't think, but it's possible. We'll think about that. King, queen suited, there's no way. It's pretty much the same range. Maybe add jacks. So let's try that. And he re-raises all in, so basically I need 2 to 1 and I'm getting 1.75 to 1. So it looks like the fold was mostly correct, roughly correct, if I'm assessing his range properly. So I'm happy with that. She knew? You think she knew? Then would like switch it back when Holly would say something. Look like it to you. We need to watch it now. Goldfish and all. Yeah, the fish were pretty cool actually. Okay, and I guess we can review this hand. Second last hand from this tournament that I'll look at. So ace queen again, popular hand this tournament. Raise it easy. Get called by one guy. Flop isn't that bad, just a jack, and we have the backdoor flush draw. So I think I like a c-bet, and he raises. Not much I can do there. It's pretty loose aggressive, but not good enough again to make plays past c-betting here and folding. And then the final hand of the tournament. In your memory, I feel like I'm reading some of Lost's messages as Galderama and vice versa because your colors are very similar and the length of your name. You really need to watch it now, Goldfish and all. Right, I see, because you're a goldfish, not Julie's goldfish. I mean my memory, but yeah, I guess there was goldfish on stream too. Yeah, Julie had some pretty cool looking goldfish that she's taking care of, or wherever she lives there's goldfish basically in this big tank. She forgot to feed them. So we're in the big blind here, and it's blind versus blind. He shoves, it's automatic, easy call. I'm getting 1.35 to 1. He's going to be shoving like 80% of his range here. So I'm way ahead of his range, and sure enough, he had 6 deuce off. So basically that means he's raising 100%. And against 100% of hands, you can actually do the math and see what my equity is, but it should be pretty good. Probably like, I want to say 65%. Wow, it's way better than that. Usually I'm pretty good at estimating those things. 87% equity against, oh sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do random. Right, so 70% almost. 69% equity. So that makes more sense. But against his specific hand I had 87% equity. However, he flopped trip 6s and I'm dead. And that was the last hand of the tournament. And before that hand I had 10 big blinds, so I would have doubled up to 20 something big blinds. You're the greasy one. One of us has to be the imposter, yeah. Okay, so that's the big tournament. And the other 2 tournaments I actually marked hands for review, so I'm just going to review a couple hands from each of them. So this one was a super knockout, similar to the one I played today, or the same format almost, except it was 9 players instead of 8 players. So I see a huge hand here. Well, I'll do the marked hands first, and then big hands, I guess. So knockout tournaments are really weird and different. This was my first ever knockout tournament that I've played. And it's a super knockout progressive tournament, so the short of it is that half of your buy-in goes towards the prize pool, and half of your buy-in goes towards a target on your back. And so each of these players has $5 or something in their knockout bounty. And so that changes the way you play a lot. And that's why I marked this hand in particular. Unfortunately, I don't like how Poker Tracker's not telling me what the bounties are. I wonder if that's actually displayed in the text hand history at least. Yeah. So I can refer to that, I guess. Or show it. I have it here. Maybe like this. Conveniently don't have the cam, so I can just show it there. But yeah, so the bounties, you can see that You Make My Bank has $5 on his head, Ned has $16, 15, 13, 13, 13, and I have $13.75. So if you bust somebody out, you get half of their bounty immediately in cash deposited into your account, and the other half goes onto your bounty. So if somebody busts you, they get it. And then if you win the tournament, basically, you get your bounty as well. So if you survive the whole tournament, you get that whole gigantic bounty at the end of it. So that changes basically the way your decisions are made in a lot of spots, in kind of subtle ways, I guess. So here, normally a hand that's completely unplayable, King 3 off, you wouldn't even steal with it. Suddenly you have to consider how many bounties are in play and stuff like that. So if you cover the players who are raising. So in this case, this player raises to 2,400, and now this player re-raises all into 3,100. And so we want to know what his bounty is. Gabby Lange, so he has 1375 bounty. So I did some reading, and basically what you want to do is, for each $5 in bounty, you add another starting chip stack to the pot. And I think in this tournament the starting chip stack was 10,000, pretty sure. So basically he has another 27,500 chips he's adding to this pot right now. So instead of there being 8,700 chips, there's actually 35,000 something. Because of the amount of money that's on his bounty, and he's raising to nothing really. It's very cheap. So I'm getting at the moment more than 10 to 1 to call. And I insta-folded without thinking at the time, but immediately realized next hand that I should have been paying more attention and that this was possibly a call, so I wanted to figure this out here. I mean, getting 10 to 1, it's pretty much guaranteed I have to call here. You rarely get odds like that. So ignore the people behind us for now. And just go with this. So the original raiser is pretty loose. Looks like he's raising maybe top 30% or something. Maybe less. Let's go with... He's effectively raised 7 out of 28. So a quarter. So we'll give him top 25%. And then, so what would this guy put all his money in? So he has an M of 1 and 3 big blinds. He basically has nothing. So he's going to be playing a ton of hands here. The bounty stuff sounds nerve-wracking. Yeah, actually, it's cool in that you can win money at any time. So actually, it's less nerve-wracking than normal tournaments, because in a normal tournament, at any time if you bust out, you get nothing until you hit the money. So that's really stressful. Whereas here, at any time, I mean, okay, it's stressful if you are a small stack, yes. But if you're a larger stack, like in this case, I have 56,000 chips, so most of the players at the table, I cover them. So it's stressful for them, I guess, but not for me, because as long as you have somebody who has less chips than you, you can get his bounty. So, and win that money immediately. So it's kind of cool to be able to win money at any time during a tournament. So yeah, the only two guys that I can't bust are these two. So anybody else, I could get their bounty at any time. Now, so in this case, I'm trying to figure out what this guy would re-raise all in with such a small stack. So any suited ace for sure, almost certainly any ace as well. King, queen, king, jack, king 10's got to be good enough, king 9. All these hands, jack 9, jack 10, 10, 9. 9, 8, maybe not. You can be a bit more patient. Any pocket pair, and a ton of suited hands. This interface is pretty shitty. I'd like to just be able to drag and select everything, but I have to manually click everything. Jack 4 suited, Queen 4 suited, I'm not so sure he would put his money in. I mean, it depends on the player too. This guy's tight passive. So, I mean, I'm kind of plugging in the range that I would re-raise. A tight passive player, I mean, it should be close enough. 7-6 suited. Let's say something like this. So top, whatever percent this is, 39%. So what is my equity against these two players? So I got 20% equity. I do have to keep in mind that this is for showdown equity. Like, it's possible people will continuation bet and make things complicated, but often in a dry pot like this, people will just check it down. So I just need 4 to 1, and I'm getting 10 to 1 here. So I definitely should have at least called here. I should have exactly called, nothing else. Unfortunately, I did not, because this is my first knockout tournament. See, this guy calls behind. This guy actually folds his blind. Like, I don't think there's any cards that you would fold here. So, out of curiosity, we can plug in ranges and see. So, given that I'm supposed to play King 3 off, basically, I think all these players should be playing any two cards, maybe. So we'll give these two guys a random hand, and then we'll see if this guy has a random hand. Oops. What his equity is, and what odds he needs. Or actually, no, we'll do even better. We'll give him 7 deuce off, so the worst possible hand in poker, and see if he should be calling. And it looks like the answer is going to be yes. So he needs 9 to 1, and he's getting 36,195 plus 6290 divided by like 2,000, 1955. So he's getting 22 to 1 odds, and he needs 9 to 1. So he's getting tons of extra overlay. So yeah, he should be calling any two there. So he made a mistake. Kind of like me, right? So maybe it's his first knockout tournament. And then we'll probably get to see all the hands as they check around all streets. So this guy called with Jack 8 off, garbage, but yeah, it's totally correct. This guy initially raised with Queen 9 suited. So I called with Queen 8 suited, so let's see if I had that in his range. And I did. And this guy called with Queen 8 suited. Yeah. And the guy actually survived. Queen high, 3-way tie. Okay, so I was correct in suspecting that maybe I'm supposed to call there. I think there's another hand like that I want to check now. The last hand I have marked for this tournament, so I have 7-6 suited in the hijack. My stack size is pretty small right now, 15 blinds. This guy shoves for 4 blinds with an MF2, and this guy folds. So yeah, so almost certainly it's going to be the same idea as before, but we can do the math though, because his bounty will have an effect. So for this hand, Kiss New Forever has only a $5 bounty, so he's adding 1 stack of 10,000 to the pot. So there's 23,334 in the pot right now, and I'm getting 8,000. So I'm getting 2.9 to 1. So this is significantly worse than last time, and a bit complicated, I guess. So let's do some math. Oh, looks like I was showing the wrong thing for the last hand, so I should have been showing this one. Yeah, that was the equity where the guy had 7 deuce off. He needs 9 to 1 because he's got 10% equity. And yeah. Now for this hand, let's do it properly. So we'll ignore all the other opponents for now, and just me versus him. So his range, he's in desperate situation. he's gonna be raising a lot of hands. So we'll go like give him 50% to start and see how that looks. Do some math, he said. I heard that. So he's got to be raising a lot of these hands because the blinds are coming to him, and he has 8,000 chips, and there's antes every hand. So, fun fact: don't need an orange next to your comp. Yeah. I don't know if he would raise Jack 4, Jack 3, Jack deuce, Queen 4, yes. 10, 5, 9, 5, 8, 5, 7, 4. Probably not. 4, 3 suited. Maybe not. And then for the unsuited hands, Queen 5 off and up. Jack 7, 10, 8, 9, 8. 8, 7 off maybe. Something like that. So top 57%. What is our equity against this? So we just need to be 1.5 to 1 odds, and we're being overlaid, or being given 2.9 to 1 odds. So call does look to be correct. There is a danger, of course, that somebody re-raises behind us. So I folded, and that looks like that was wrong. Wrong. Because there's plenty of money to be made there by calling. And this guy re-raises. In fact, I could re-raise to get it heads up. Might have been correct, but then we give other people amazing odds to bust us, so I need more experience with these tournaments basically, but looks like this was also a call. At least this one I noticed at the time, so I folded knowingly. It was incorrect though. But yeah, my odds were nowhere near as good though, so not surprised I made the mistake. He had King 4 suited, which was indeed in the range that I gave him. Fuck man, we are at sticky keyboard gets everywhere. Fuck man, we are at the age where we should have preventive measures against this crap. Yeah, like keyboards that can't, nothing sticks to them or whatever. So next, the third tournament, that's from today. Actually, before that, I want to check any really big hands and see. Sort by chips 1, I guess. So check the big pots. But I mean, if I didn't mark it, it's probably not worth checking, but out of curiosity. So it goes raise. Interesting that I'm re-raising here. I mean, the guy's a pretty loose raiser, so I guess it's not that surprising. So I 3-bet with ace-9 off. He calls. Flop nothing. He checks to me. And he doesn't really fold, so I should probably just be checking here, but I shoved. I didn't realize I only had one pot size bet left, or he doesn't, he has even less, so yeah, just shoving. And he called. And somehow I win with ace high against king queen. But yeah, I'm not going to review the hands that I didn't mark, because there's a lot of them and it's not really worth it. So we'll go to the third and final tournament from today. I think I marked a couple hands. Just one hand. I mean, I thought Sticky Fingers was 1980s, but that's just you, yeah. I'm with you on that kind of stuff. Let me just fix my poker tracker look here. Behind the scenes. Can't actually even find this guy's HUD. FSP is so big. ABBA. Well, rip. Okay, so ace-9 off, early position, 32 blinds. So not in desperate situation. Min raise with ace-9 off. Get called by a tight passive player and an unknown. Both who have a little bit more chips than me, I think. Yeah. So I'm covered. The button also calls. This guy's super loose and pretty aggressive. By far the worst player at the table. And then the big blind re-raises to... can't even see it. To 3,700. So we have once again a bounty situation. So let's see what his bounty is. This is FSP. So here's a $5 bounty. So there's an extra 10,000 chips in the pot. So 15,282 chips. Divided by 3,400. So I'm getting like almost 5 to 1, 4.5 to 1 with ace-9 off. I suspect I'm supposed to call here, but I know that I folded. So let's start plugging in some ranges. Let's do some math. Oh, am I even showing the right? Looks like no. I don't usually use that. So I have ace-9 off. This Lucky Sam guy cold calls, and he would 3-bet roughly the top 11%, so we'll exclude the top 11%. Let's do this the other way around. So he's playing probably top 20% or so. Maybe a bit more, 22%, and exclude the top 11. Very roughly what he's playing here. Oh, this is not correct. So we want to give him 10% of hands. For sure he's doing this with a bunch of low pairs and like suited stuff. Suited aces is fine, and no way he does that with offsuit aces. Nor likely king jack off, maybe king queen off. Definitely king queen suited. Maybe sevens, maybe not. Something like this. 7% of hands, so we need a bit more hands. So suited connectors down to 6-5. Or suited aces. He'd probably re-raise ace-10 suited, maybe. So this looks close enough to his range for me. And then this guy behind him is unknown and calls. So hard to say. Give him top 20 minus top 5 or something. And the button is super loose. What is he cold calling with? I have to check my advanced stats on him. So pre-flop, cold call 2-bet. Actually, he's pretty tight against a raise. 2 out of 9. So 22%, roughly, minus top 4% he's 3-betting. So something like this. And then the big blind, who had an M of 9, 24 big blinds, so he's not in that big of a danger, so he's going to have a pretty good hand here. He's tight, aggressive, he hasn't 3-bet yet in 54 hands. Semi-tight. His passive bull swap. So what if we give him like top 5%? What does that look like? 10s and up, ace queen suited, ace queen. So I don't think he would do it with ace-jack off, so that's fine. Ace-jack suited. He has 24 big blinds. Queen suited, probably not. 9-9. So I think something like this is probably his range. 9's and up, ace, queen and up, and ace-jack suited and up. And in all likelihood, people would all have to call if I call. And if I shove, it's to 5,000, so it's barely more than the amount. So there might be somebody who falls, but in any case, let's just see my equity against all these hands. Where I'm getting about 4.5 to 1. Interesting. Looks like I only have 11% equity, so I need 8 to 1. So it's actually correct to fold, looks like. So it's going to take me some practice to get used to these knockout situations, because my intuition was wrong here. Like, way wrong. My intuition's usually better in unfamiliar spots, but this is way off. So ace-9 off is not even close, mainly because of the tightness of this guy's range, because he's not in any danger. Now, let's say I re-raise and somehow all these guys fold. Does that change anything? It's probably going to be even worse, because part of the reason why my hand isn't too bad is because of the weakness of their ranges, probably. I guess their ranges aren't even that weak, though. Except for this guy, Abba. So let's say I re-raise, it goes fold, fold, and Abba plays, which is the most likely outcome, I feel like, anyway. So we'll dump. Make sure I'm not erasing the wrong line here. Yeah. Yeah, actually, even Abba plays pretty tight in this spot, so it's not even going to be that good. But if we dump these two guys and get it in 3 ways, how are we doing there? So we need 4 and a bit to 1. And I can do the math. So it'd be 15,000 chips plus, if I re-raise, Abba's Force X puts in, what, another 4770, so plus 4770. So I'm getting 4.2 to 1, and I need almost exactly that, looks like. 81.09 divided by 18.91. So I need 4.29 to 1, and I'd be getting 4.2 to 1, so it'd be ever so slightly a fold, but you can't be this precise ever. So it looks like it'd be pretty break-even, even in the best of cases. Well, interesting stuff. Super knockout tournaments. I'll probably be playing more of these in the future, at least during events like this, during the Scoop. That's going to be it for the reviews. See if I can find somebody for you guys to watch, and maybe even myself to watch in these dark days. And I'm going to be back tomorrow morning to play the big fixed limit hold'em tournaments. Same ones that I did well in last week. They got cancelled, so they got rescheduled. So not only did I make money on that one, but I get to play a second time. So tomorrow is going to be a really interesting day, and hopefully I do really well. I'll be playing, I don't even know what time they start at. Probably 10. What day are we even today? Monday? So yeah, 9:30 a.m. tomorrow my time, so 5:30 p.m. Central, I think. No, that can't be right. Why can I never figure out Central? I have it on my clock here. So it's 9 hours later. So 6:30 p.m. Central European time tomorrow. I'll be playing the Fixed Limit Hold'em tournaments. 2 of them, $215 one and $27 one. But yeah, that should be fun. And there's another third tournament later in the day that I might play if things are going well. A cheap one, a $5 tournament. But yeah, let's see here. This is probably not going to be showing correctly. Oh, it is. Let's see if there's anybody to introduce to you guys. Alex Central. Never actually checked him out before. Curious to see. Oh man, you should listen to Symptom of the Universe by Black Sabbath, the full version, if you like this. Nice. I'll definitely have to check it out. I've never actually seen this guy before. I'll look at him later. Winter 13 drawing something seems pretty cool. Happy World Goth Day, Jackbox Party. I think that's an upgrade, maybe. I haven't really watched her that much. So I don't know if maybe she's crazy and not interesting, but we'll see. Nora's streaming. The fuck is he doing? But yeah, for those that like Nora, you can check him out. Oh, Matuka's streaming. Alright, I think that's going to be good for me. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on Discord and whatnot. I'll be around definitely in these slow days. And I'll catch you later.